Hi, it's Alexandra Weber with Fasteners, celebrating today Women in Construction 2023. We have a wonderful, talented, beautiful, amazing panel of women in the industry locally that we are going to be hearing from. So let's begin with some introductions. Why doesn't everybody take a turn to say your name, the role that you have currently, and the company you're with?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate the opportunity and to be sitting at this panel with amazing, intelligent women. My name is Heather Avila. I'm president and CEO of Live Electric.
Good afternoon, what she said. Thank you, Fasteners, for hosting us. I am Michelle Drucker. I am the business development person for the Original Roofing Company.
What both days are. My name is Jessica, safety manager for the Penta Building Group.
My name is Bree Henderson. I'm with Burt Construction. I'm a project manager, and I also help in our safety department at the company.
My name is Kelly Kovaleski. I'm with Sletton Construction, and I am a project engineer in our corrections division.
Thanks so much for the invite to be on the panel. Appreciate it. My name is Susie Young. I'm the Director of Marketing and Business Development at Centurion Consultants.
All right. Well, as you can all tell, there's a wide variety of roles within the industry, and maybe it's some that you might not even think of. So we really want to delve a little deeper into what each role looks like. So kind of like a day in the life of what each of these wonderful women do every day. So we'll start with you, Heather.
Day in the life. I don't think there is a regular day because every day feels like a crazy day. It could be walking job sites, checking on production, attending OAC meetings, doing payroll, checking into safety, supply chain. It really is overseeing all the operations of the company and making sure that we're out there connecting with our team members and making sure that they're having a good time at work and they're safe and they're happy and they're satisfied and making sure that we're making the connections with our trade partners and our general contractors. So a day in the life for me is ever changing and ever evolving, and I think that's why it's so much fun.
Yes, again, what she said, except for payroll and all the above. The average day is very different. Every day is different. I think that's why I like my job. That's why I excel at my job. My relationships are basically what makes me and my company a success, whether it be a general contractor, trade partner, or just the people I work with. Everyone needs to be safe. Everyone needs to be happy, and we need to fulfill with what we're supposed to do. Some days I'm on roofs. Some days I'm in the office. Some days I'm at a lunch. Some days I'm just in the car driving around trying to find my next project. So it's very varied, and I love it.
For me, depends what day it is. Sometimes I do have to start at 3, sometimes at 2, sometimes at 6. It's the morning shifts. So we go to work. First thing is being safety, the first thing you got to do is make sure that the guys we have a plan. So we fill out a form. We call it a pre-task plan. Make sure we're all filling it out. Everyone's there. We all know what we're going to do today, what our scope is, what are our hazards, and we go over that. After that is done, what I have to make sure is that we follow through. That the guys, whatever they said that they were going to do, that we are doing it. At the end of the day, my main goal is for everyone to go home. So I have to make sure, sometimes it's hard because they are grown men and they take it a little personal when I tell them you have to do this, and I get honey, I've been doing this for 30 years. So that is one of my biggest pushbacks, but I've learned how to stay my ground, how to, stand tall and explain them. Like my boss always said, my main duty is to sell safety. So I have to convince this person why he has to do it safe. Why does he have to go home? So that is my day-to-day.
For my day-to-day normally starts out around, early in the morning, 6 a.m. I help a lot with all of our different projects. So every day is a new project that I'm walking with the project manager or superintendent out on site, managing what's going on with their safety for that day to help prep them or get them prepared for anything else that's coming on. If they're getting ready to set cranes and tilt panels, what we got to do with the type of information we need. And then after I finish my first 2 inspections in the morning, I head back into the office where I kind of just go over what I'm doing for my projects that I manage. I have projects in North Dakota. I have a few out here in Nevada, so I'm traveling all around. My workations are fun. It's cold up there. It's warm down here right now. But it's just on a daily basis of dealing with what's going on between constructions, understanding the drawings, dealing with the subs if they don't understand what the details are, getting RFIs out, and being able to keep that course of information going and getting answered so we can continue on with our projects and turn over a successful project on time.
A day in my life, I feel like it's pretty different each day too. I work pretty closely with the owner, subcontractors, and the architect. I review all of the submittals, RFIs, review all of the drawings, read all of the specifications, and just make sure that the project is running smoothly, make sure that we're on schedule, under budget, if there's any design that we can do to kind of help save on the project too, whether it's saving time or saving money. Just doing whatever we can to work with the owner and have a successful project. So sometimes there's traveling, a lot of the times it's in the office, but
So I think like all these other ladies, just every day is different. So in business development, I think you kind of get a rap for working banker hours, coming in a little bit later, but then also it's a lot of late nights, just at mixers, networking events and that kind of thing. So it all evens out. So we are a firm of about 60 people and we have about 15 that are in the office, project managers and that sort. So I am probably in more a project support role as opposed to like running one job or missing one job. So every day is a little bit different, but I help set up the plans and specs for upcoming bids. I help with recruiting, I do our social media, I do all of our statement qualifications, project write-ups, like it's just a lot, but I love it. I also like help the team. So if it's one of our engineers that needs help with something or accounting of, hey, how is this being billed? I can definitely like dive into the documents and just kind of help them out with the pre-construction, which I also handle once the project is awarded, and then I kind of move to the operations team. So it's a lot of different stuff, but I love it, and just have a great team that I work with.
Well, it looks like everyone here has a wide scope of work that they do, regardless of the title that they have. And I think that says something about the experience that you've gained throughout your time in the industry. So if everyone could say, how many years that they've been involved and maybe share an impactful interaction that you've had along the way that really, helped you want to be a woman in construction.
I've been in the industry for 9 years, and anytime I have an interaction with another woman in the industry, I feel like it's impactful because I feel inspired, I feel empowered, and I know that there's more of us growing. We're 51% of the population, and while we're not represented in this industry the same way we are in the rest of the world, we're a growing number, and the opportunities are growing. And a moment that I see as very impactful for me is I met the owner of KOR Construction, woman, Rebecca Fountain, very amazing woman. And she told me that know your stuff, know your industry, be knowledgeable and to be intelligent and speak to what you do, speak to what you know, and you will be respected for the professional that you are and seen beyond just your gender.
Well, I've been in the roofing industry for 18 years, and when I first started, I didn't know anything about roofing other than my house had a roof and it was keeping my house dry. So I originally started at a manufacturer, and they make you go through an applicator training. I was the only woman in that class with 50 men. And because I worked at the manufacturer that was teaching the class, they continued to pick on me and constantly ask me. And I felt a little overwhelmed, but then I also felt like I'm kicking the butt here because, I know all these answers and half these guys in this class don't know what they're doing. So that moment, I was like, go girl thing. It was great. And I have to say that I love working in the industry. It's great to run into women. It's great to have different experiences and exposures. And we all run into some dead ends once in a while, but it's a matter of redirecting and conquering. It's fulfilling. I love it.
So my background is clerical work. I always worked I was a loan officer. Worked at a clinic, back of house. So all that's where I grew up in. Then I moved to Vegas in '99, and I saw the flaggers, the lady standing outside with the pole, and I heard that they were making pretty good money. So I told myself that I wanted to do that, and one of my friends asked me if I still wanted to do it and to call this number in. So I did all that, and I remember the first day I was doing flagging, I thought I was gonna die. It was in the middle of June. I'm standing there with this pole, and I thought they said take plenty of water, and I remember I froze a little gallon of water, and I kept looking at it, how it started melting, and then by noon there was no more cold water. So I thought I wasn't going to survive. The next day I said, you know what? I already did one day. I need to keep on pushing through. And I did. Then it was pretty neat because I started getting in the union. I wanted to be in the union. So I did that. I did I did demo. Then I drove a water truck. And then I remember I was at this one job, and most of the guys all spoke Spanish. And all the project managers and anyone else spoke English. So me being bilingual, I got to translate. I was translating for everyone, doing all of a sudden toolbox topics in Spanish and translating all this. And it was pretty cool. Then I remember my boss back then, one guy got hurt. And then he came to our office and he's all bleeding. And then my boss tells me, fix him. And I'm like, what the heck? What do I do here? So he's like, fix him up. And I looked at this kid and I'm looking at him, I'm like, what do I do? And then I'm like, all of a sudden I got into mom mode. Treated him how I would treat my kids. So I told him to sit down, got everything ready, and I patched him up. I put him a Band-Aid. I treated him like my kid. And it was so funny because he respected me for that. And I've never helped someone else besides my kids. So it fell into that role. And then later on I got hired as safety. I started doing safety. And I was telling a couple ladies earlier that yesterday I was doing an orientation, and I thought I was just gonna have like 30 people in there. Well, I ended up having 96 guys show up to this meeting. I only had 3 tables. So all of a sudden, everyone's standing, and I had everyone sign in. I had to think fast and get organized super quick. So I separated everything. I had everyone sign in, gave them the sticker, the orientation, and then I have all these guys standing around me. And I'm like, okay. So I stood in the middle and just started reading and talking and explaining every single detail of what's required from it. And I kept looking because you have to look. So I kept looking, and I felt really cool watching all these guys look at me and respect me and understand me. And it felt really cool. I liked it. I felt respected. I felt like I got it. And I know that they were all hearing me, and that made me feel proud of what I do.
So I have been in construction for 14 years. I started with data entry and clerical work when I was in community college. And so once I started receiving receivers and seeing what was going on, I was interested in what that type of material is and where did it go and how can I verify that we received it if I just have a piece of paper and I can't see it in real life. And so there was a superintendent, Richmond, at that time who kind of took me under his wing, and he was like, come on, I'll show you. Where he'd take me out into the field and point out to what was delivered that day, what was done. I started understanding, manpower, what it took to get certain things done within the field, which kind of put me into becoming a project engineer, which I thought was the coolest thing because you're in the plans, you're in the specs, everybody comes to you for questions. You're like, I'm gonna get the answer for you. Don't you worry, I'll be right back. So that was fun. And then unfortunately we had an incident. We had a death that happened, a scaffold collapse on our project, and it changed it for the most. I was the first person to make it there. I had CPR. I was taking all my training, and it changed my life for safety. So I changed my degree. I went into occupational safety and health. I wanted to minor in fire science. I was like, this is stressful. I'm going to become a fire inspector. Go on with my life, which I realized I didn't want to do that. I liked what I did. It is stressful, but I do love what I do on a daily basis. It changes. It's not always crazy as we think it is. We have some kind of fun with it, but it took me into safety and then becoming a project manager, which most people in the industry, I have a very strong safety background. So I'm always on it. And they're like, oh, wow, it's like you're doing an inspection. Yes. Get your barricades up. You got a fall issue. I'll be back tomorrow. But it was just a big thing with going into safety and construction, and kind of where I am today, kind of living my best life.
So I have been in the construction industry for about 3.5 years now. I feel like no one really realizes like how big the construction industry is, because I started off at a small structural engineering firm where if you're someone who just wants to sit in your office, get your Excel work, your sheets, get all of your work done, and leave at the end of 8 hours, then that's something you can do. That wasn't for me. I needed something a little bit more social. So I've also kind of helped do business development, kind of going after different projects and bids and stuff. It was a complete 180 from being in the office all the time. So now always being out of the office, but I have kind of finally found my like happy middle ground where just I'm constantly working with people. I have the opportunity to go on job sites, or if I need a day just to be in my office and figure out all the stuff and get everything done that I need to do. But there's just a lot of opportunity in construction where even if you've been doing all of the business development and you decide that you want more of an office job, like you can still stay within the construction industry. There's always opportunity for whatever you're looking for at that part of your life.
So I've been in the industry for 8 years, and before that I was in the hospitality industry for about 10 years. So that was quite a switch for me, and I was like, I don't know if it's going to work out. But I just talked to a few people, and I was like, you know what? It's transferable skills. Same kind of thing. It's just maybe instead of talking to a meeting planner, I'm talking to an estimator or project manager. But it all just really comes down to like organization and details. So I first got into this industry because I was talking to my friend who I had worked with, and her husband worked for Public Works. And so he's at a conference, and he's talking to one of my past coworkers, and they were just looking to hire like a marketing coordinator. So it just got back to me, and so I submitted my resume, and I went in for an interview and everything. And honestly, I was like, I don't even know what the scope is. I have no idea what third-party special inspections and construction materials testing is. I have no idea. So, like, honestly, I think like 3 weeks in, the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, we're like quality assurance for like material construction. Okay, hello. So, yeah, so it was like hilarious. But from there, I just really learned, like, reach out to people that want to help you, and they're helpful, and they'll give you the time, and you can just learn so much from them. And also, there was so much information in there in books. So I remember I was like, hey, is there some like manual I can read? And my boss was like laughing. He's like, no, it's like on the site learning. I'm like, okay. So I just remember I started going to as many events and presentations and conferences that I could, just to learn more about a little bit of everything. And so that was really helpful to me to just get more well-rounded, because I don't have a technical background. But I necessarily don't need that, because I've also learned that we all have a role in our job. So I know sometimes if we're like clerical or a project coordinator or accountant, we feel like we're not as valuable as maybe being the project manager or the superintendent. But I'm like, you know what? It's all tied together. And so if we're not getting the invoices right, we're not able to send them out and get the money back to have cash flow, like we're not going to be in business. So all the roles are so important and tied together. And so I just feel like in my role, I'm able to kind of link a lot of people together, because I do touch so much. So I touch the job in the beginning, and I kind of hand it off during pre-construction and then during construction. If there's any issues, I kind of check in to just make sure the client's good, our team's good. And then at the end, I kind of follow up and say, hey, do you have any more work coming up? Can we keep working with you? So just kind of always know that if you're in one role and it's just not right for you, talk to your team, be open to getting out, doing networking, and just meet other people. And then, I just love supporting other women in the industry as well. So in hospitality, I had met some women that were very friendly, very nice, and very helpful, and then some that were the complete opposite. So I learned a lot from both, and I still stay in touch with all of them. So actually not the ones I didn't like as much, but the ones that were more like mentors and helpful. So I think it just really comes down to just staying connected with your network, your teachers, and even if you leave an industry or leave a job, stay in touch, because you never know when you may need that person, whether it's for a friendship or for like another job, or if you're looking to hire and you want to bring them on. So just stay in touch with good people in your life, and don't be afraid to change your role or your position if it's not something you want to do, because like skills do transfer over, and I've done great in this career and I love it. And yeah, it's so nice, like wearing jeans and polos instead of like suits and heels. So that was a great bonus too.
Very inspirational moments of just capturing the heart behind you guys coming into construction. And I think it's awesome to hear, the differences along your paths. And I think there's a lot of women out there in the industry today who might be, or maybe they're not in the industry, they might be interested in joining and participating in, the fields of work that you all do. So is there any piece of advice that you would want to leave with those women, a motto, something that you live by that you would want to pass along?
Wow, it's a lot to get into a little answer there. Be persistent, be resilient. You will get knocked down, get up again, and try again. And as you prove yourself and your capabilities along the way, you get invited to things that you don't expect to, and participate in things that you don't know if you're qualified to. And so the mantra that I would love to share, that I try to hold in my head all the time, is an invitation is an indication of your qualification. So while I was invited here, I'm like, well, why me? Why do you want me to be on this panel? I stopped myself and I remember that I'm capable and I'm excited to be here. And I hope that in some way that our accomplishments and what we've done in the industry can inspire others, whether in this room or watching this clip, and believe in yourself and persist. Even when others don't believe in you, believe in yourself until you've proven yourself to yourself.
That's a tough act to follow. Oh my gosh, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So do you have a last piece of advice that you would want to give to a woman who's looking to pursue a similar career path?
Got it. Again, what she said, but I'm going to add to that. I genuinely believe in just be yourself. I mean, don't compromise who you are to kind of justify or make someone happy, because in the end, it's not going to benefit anybody. We're all going to fail. You're going to learn from your failures. Own your failures. Try not to repeat them. Try to just be honest. And honestly, just be who you are. I mean, don't be fake. Don't be, false or lie, or genuine. Be a genuine, good woman. There's a lot of opportunities in the industry, obviously on this panel and elsewhere. I like to always say, don't be the chaser, be the one who gets chased. You are the tequila, not the lime. So, there's a don't drink. Sorry. It's just be genuine. Be always educated. Try to always learn and strive to learn something new every day. I mean, in this industry, yes, it's roofing. I get it. It's not rocket science, but I do learn something new every day, whether it's in the field on the roof or in the office and dealing with admin paperwork. It's constant education, and it's constant new and exciting. It's roofing. I get it, but it's an exciting industry. So
the way I see it, if you want to become safety, that's the path you want to go. Because I get asked a lot that. The first thing I recommend is everyone take a SCAT class. You know, it's easy. It's a 26 classes. They're short classes, and you sign up, and it's free. If you like that, then you get into safety. I don't recommend someone to go and say, oh, I'm gonna do safety and buy all this and do all that, and then not like it. So I always tell everyone, get in there, something that's free, something that's easy that you could do, and then if you like it, then you go to the next step. That's how I did it, and that's what I recommend. For women, I recommend that you get a mentor, someone that you trust, someone that you count on. I know I count on Masha. I ask her, you have to find someone that to help you, that'll give you advice. Even if sometimes you don't want to hear or you think you're right, ask, and you learn from it. And one of the biggest thing that I recommend we all do is we have to step out of our comfort zone. I know me as a woman, before I got into safety, I was in this little box that I wouldn't step out because I'm a woman and I'm in construction with all these guys. I don't want people to talk about me. So I never mingled and I never stepped out of that box. Now I've learned the hard way that I should have stepped out of my box way before. It would have probably got me here sooner, but it's okay. I learned from it. Step out and say, you know what? I'm just going to do it. What could go wrong? Like right here when she called. I was going to say a bad word, but I can't. Just go out there and do it. Just do it and see what happens and enjoy it. Take the good and enjoy it and be proud of yourself.
I would say, never apologize for being a powerful woman when we're in the industry that we're in, dealing with, a lot of men, just like going on about, I've been in there for 30 years, stand your ground, ask your questions, make sure you guys, best way to put that. But follow through with them and, know that sometimes, they might be, people are angry. We're in a stressful work environment. It might not be directed at you. And sometimes we have to be, as how we are, or how I am at least, I'm like, whoa, hey, calm it down, tone your voice down, to kind of bring it back in to be able to get what you need to do at the end of the day done and doing it safely and being able to work with everybody within a team. We all have different personalities, being able to understand that, coming out of your box and just hanging out and enjoying it. If you like it, it's super fun. There's so many different ways you can go through in construction, whether it's subcontractors, third party, material, safety, being a general contractor, seeing it all. I just, take a step, look at it. We got YouTube and videos these days to be able to look at it. If it interests you, go for it and strive for the stars.
I would say my advice would be just to trust your gut. If you feel like you're getting pulled towards wanting to be more involved with projects, then work towards that. If that means that you need to take classes or even watching YouTube videos or whatever it is that you need to do to get the background to get up to that step, then you need to push yourself to do that. Trust your gut.
So yeah, I think it's just also like with what you're saying, like it's almost like I learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable, especially in like marketing. Because I was going to all these networking events, I was like, I don't know anyone. And then I would start seeing like one familiar face, and then I would see like 2 or 3, and they got easier, but it was just like, keep going, girl. You can do this. And so it's just like, stay with it. It will be hard, but it gets easier. And it's like, it's an awesome industry. And then at the same time in construction, there is so much out there. There's like public information officers, there's estimators, there's design engineers, there's material people, suppliers, installation, like, I don't know, there's so much. So it's not just construction is one thing, there's so much out there. So just, explore it and just, really just support the other women out there, because you've got to be there together.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing all of that great advice. I hope you all learned something today. If not, just got on a more personal level with each other and, hopefully made a friend today. And we're just so honored that you guys decided and agreed to come speak. So thank you again, Susie, Kelly, Bree, Jessica, Michelle, and Heather. Thank you very much. And for all of you who came to watch this all unfold, thank you for coming. You are so important in your roles as well. So we just want to say thank you for attending as well. The last thing I want to say is thank you to our sponsor, PIP, for all the wonderful women's gear and specialized PPE that you see in front of you and behind us here. They did an awesome job and sponsored swag for all of these wonderful ladies. So we just want to say thank you, PIP. This is Alexandra Weber with Fasteners. Thank you so much for celebrating Women in Construction 2023 this March 5th through 11th. Be sure to stay tuned for all of the awesome content.